I want to expand the questions that we can ask ourselves in Neville's work because the questions that typically are asked are, well, when is it going to happen? Or how will this happen? Or what if it doesn't happen? These are very common questions, and they're actually questions that are so limited in scope of the self that the focus actually is on the things rather than the self. I want to ask you a series of questions that can expand this work. So a simple question can be, are you somebody who imagines freedom when there isn't any? It's a very valuable question to ask oneself. Do you imagine freedom when there isn't any? Do you imagine lovely things when you're surrounded by fear? Do you believe in yourself when no one believes in you? What kind of person are you? I don't care what you agree with or disagree with in the world. I don't really care what concepts you are fond of. Nor do I really care really what you do. I care more about what kind of person are you? Are you somebody who imagines freedom when there isn't any? Are you somebody who imitates God, who calls things that are unseen as though they are seen? These questions are more important to me because I find people who imagine freedom when there isn't any, when they're imprisoned, I find them to be the most inspiring people. I find them to be true practitioners of this law. That's what Neville did, right? He was told that he has to go to war, and he didn't want to. He imagined himself free when there was no freedom in sight, when his freedom was disqualified. I've had my own fair share of feeling claustrophobic in life. Yet I imagined having space, imagined having freedom, and there was no reason to do it. I did it because I wanted to. That was the only reason, but there was no hope in sight. This is more important to me than the things because it shows what kind of character you have rather than what things you've acquired. I love people who believe. I just love them. I love people who imagine freedom when there isn't any. I don't know which a better way to put it. And that's how I view Neville. I view him as somebody who did that, and he pursued it without fear and embarrassment, because it can be embarrassing sometimes to believe in oneself. You can get laughed out of a room. But do it anyway. Some people do it anyway. That's the type of person they are. They're just somebody who believes in themselves. That's just how they are. It's like, you can't ask them to stop. That's just what they do. Telling someone to imagine imprisonment, just to somebody who only imagines freedom when they're imprisoned, is you can't tell them to stop. That's just what they do. They feel beautiful when the whole world calls them ugly. That's just the type of person they are. And then everything shifts, the tables turn, and then people start seeing the beauty that they see in themselves, that they're seeing. All of a sudden, the freedom starts to form and grow. It was planted in the individual who imagined it. This invisible seed planted in this invisible soil starts to grow into the visible world. No mortal eye or mortal ear could hear it or see it, but the individual, the one who's in imagination, the inner man saw it and heard it, believed in it and trusted in it, and it came about. What's more inspiring? I believe Neville when he says that prayer, when he says prayer, he means the externalization of what you've imagined is one of the greatest experiences that man could ever experience in this world. It is. It's one of the greatest pleasures that you could have, especially when you have to persist in life. When life keeps throwing you obstacle after obstacle, but you hold true to what you are imagining. You keep trusting in it. And when it comes about, it's a glorious feeling to see the invisible become visible. But I find the questions that are often asked to be not necessarily bad or wrong. They're just, they're not expansive. They're restrictive. They're trying to overcome a doubt rather than trying to expand oneself, which I understand they're similar, but they're different. One's focusing solely on the doubt and the other one focuses on the expansion of the self. I find that Neville's work leads to more empowerment and freedom. And you start to develop a certain character in life. Where someone comes to you with some imprisonment. I don't mean physically. I mean anything, an illness, feeling behind in life, something that feels imprisoning for them, and you just imagine freedom because that's what you do when you come into contact with imprisonment. You transfigure the world from the inside out. It's not that you don't hear good news, it's that you transfigure it. It's to take what is already there, to rearrange it, and to believe in that rearrangement. Those people are the most inspiring. And we're invited to be like them. We're invited to believe in our imaginations. That's really what they're calling us to do. That's really what Neville's work is calling you to do. Can you believe in what you've imagined? Can you believe in the reality of what you've imagined? I'm not sure if it was Neville that said, Abdullah told him this. He goes, but when someone comes to you and says they want to be married, you tell them that they're happily married. He says the whole world will look at you like you're crazy, but that's what you're supposed to do. And so what you're supposed to do appears crazy. But that is what you're supposed to do. If us believing in it creates, and someone has a need, we should imagine that need fulfilled. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't wait 4 weeks. You don't wait 4 months till harvest. You imagine it now. You don't wait for your freedom. No, you draw the freedom in you. You pull it out from within you and you bring it out to the surface. You pull it from your depths. Bring it out to the surface. And this is something you do. So I ask the question again. Are you somebody who imagines freedom when there isn't any? Is that the type of person you are? Is that just what you do? Are you someone who loves to believe and imagine what they love? Is that just something you do? If I have to express myself and there's no choice in that, then what kind of self am I expressing? These are questions that I think are more expansive. They've helped me see that it's more about how I do it or what kind of person am I rather than anxiety around what I've imagined. I like to be somebody who, even in the darkest moments, try to imagine some light. That's just what I do. Even if it's difficult, that's just what I do. Even when I hear the opposite news that I just imagined, I just hear it again. It's just something I do. And when it becomes a part of you, this work will become a part of you if you continue in it. It becomes more relieving. It's less anxiety. It's more empowerment and trust in the self. And so I just wanted to sort of expand the questions that are asked in this sphere. I hope this was inspiring for you and helpful, and I try to be thoughtful in it because it's important, and you're important. It's important. So that's all. I guess that's all I have for this one. My books are out. I do one-on-ones and I do live streaming as well. Just go to the description. It's all there.